Good morning, everybody. It's Ben Jones here. That's a pretty bright light. Let me move that down here. There we go. Happy Friday. I don't know if that light's going to help. Anyway, welcome back. It's Friday, September 11th, 2020. Here in the coffee workshop, just hanging out. Took Monday off. This is my first video of the week, and I wanted to do something pretty fun, but this has been just like a nuts week, and I was just like, I don't know, kind of running light on ideas. I was just like, the reason I really started getting into coffee was I loved the flavors that I was starting to find in coffee, and it was such a meditative, relaxing practice to, pour some water over coffee. So like, you know what? I need to get back to my roots on this coffee business and just make a cup of coffee. So we're gonna go hang out with our friends at Chemex today. I'm just gonna talk about it. No big agenda. I have my Chemex brewer. I have my Chemex paper filters, and love these things. You can hear some nice thick paper filtration. When we have the full sheet, fold it in half, and fold it in half again. And you know what? I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. Pardon me a moment. All right. When this sits in the Chemex, it leaves a big bunch of paper sticking out, and I just want to kind of like trim that down. So on this side that has no folded portions, I'm just going to go from corner and kind of cut an arc. Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to get out my compass and prescribe a perfect arc on there. I just want to trim it down a little bit. I'm going to grab a single leaf of that filter, and that allows me to open up a filter pocket, giving us one piece on one side and a triple stack on the other. Line that triple stack up right against the spout on the brewer. All right, my water's been preheated. I'm up to sitting at 202 degrees on the kettle, and use a little bit of water to wet that filter. Rinse out any loose paper particles that might impart some flavors. Helps the filter now to cling to the wall of the Chemex, and that's pretty great. I'll tilt you down a little bit so you can see. All right, now I got some extra water in there. I'll just fold back my single layer, and I'm gonna go pour this into my dump box. Getting some inside baseball there. All right, so preheated, nice and warm Chemex, rinsed filter. Let's move that over to my scale. All right. Grind your coffee a little more coarse than you would for a drip filter, but not as coarse as you would for a French press. And I'm gonna go and add in 42 grams of coffee today. I usually measured out, but I think I left a dose of coffee in last night. Last night I was having decaf. Then let's see how much comes out. Nope, we're good. This is all straight dose. Cool. So, what I'm drinking today is, I've really cut down a lot on how much coffee I drink, rather on how much caffeine I take in, just because I have a cup in the morning, maybe a cup later on. Caffeine's not my favorite thing. I really love coffee, so 42 grams of coffee altogether. Started out with the Colombia Las Brisas, in the batcher from Bronson. Then I mixed in the other half of our decaf Peru. A lot of flavor. I cut my caffeine in half. I'm gonna have 2 full servings of coffee that I can sit and sip on today while I'm getting some work done, but not have 2 full servings of caffeine, which then leaves me open to an afternoon cup if I want to. Leaves me open to go visit a friend from 6 feet away, hanging out outside, share a cup of coffee. I can go swing by, one of our drive-through customers and have a coffee and not overdo myself. Anyway, all right, so we have our coffee grounds. Just gonna give a little shake, level it out. All right, put that there. Let's see if we can get this so y'all can see it really well. Bring it over a little bit. I'm gonna tilt you farther down. I want you to be able to see a little more of the straight up and down situation. All right, there we go. And then I want to get some light on that, so I'm just gonna bring this over there. All right, nice. Timer set to 0. My water, always tare the scale before we start. And I'm just gonna hit this right in the middle. A little bit of water, just trying to break up the dry clumps. I want everyone to get in the pool, right? Get everyone swimming. If I used 42 grams to start with, I want to roughly double that. 42 times 2, 84. I have 84.8 grams in there now. I have a little bamboo skewer chopstick. I'm gonna give it a little swirl. If you see those big bubbles, that's usually a dry pocket. I'm gonna try to get those broken up. About 30 seconds in, come back, and we want to just again, same thing, start in the middle, circle around, break up the clumps. Break that crust, the dark spots. Nice even flow. Just keep on circling around, maybe go cut back in, slowly spiral outward. If you pour down the edge of the paper, not the end of the world. That paper sits pretty nicely against the glass, so we reduce the amount of bypass that happens. I'm going to go ahead and bring this water all the way up to 600 grams, which if you're not using a scale, I don't always use the scale, it is very helpful. I'm just going to bring my water, keeping it at that nice similar flow rate, up to about the top of the glass on the Chemex. I can see it through the paper just a tiny bit. And right there, we're at 518, so I'm just going to give another little just get us up to 600 grams. Close enough. All right. Sweet. We got some coffee brewing. Occasionally, you'll see the filter start to collapse down into the pour spout. That pour spout is the vent so that as the coffee drips in, the air from inside the Chemex can be pushed out. If that's starting to choke, grab your Chemex filter by the triple side, give a little lift, turn it a few degrees, and reset it. All right. Once the coffee, or once the brew water has dripped down about a finger's width from the top, I just come back and rinse that back in. Make sure all of those coffee grounds are getting to contribute flavor. And then we want to bring our brew water up to just a bit over 700. 740, thereabouts. All right, and there's our Chemex. One of the reasons I really like making a Chemex, even though I'm the only coffee drinker at home, is I'm making a double serving here, so I get to use twice as much water, which allows me to pour twice as long. That means I'm taking my Chemex yoga session and I'm stretching it out. Giving myself a little more time to just stand there and do what we do. Let this drip through. We're a little over 4 minutes in. Usually want to be done by about 4.5. So I think I add my water a little bit too slow, or I might have ground a little bit too fine. Not that big of a deal. I'm just going to lift it up, and when you lift it, we increase the airflow around the edge of the filter, and that allows more water to pass through more quickly since it's not restricted by the glass wall of the Chemex and the choke spout. So this is my fully caffeinated, fully decaffeinated little mixture. It's kind of fun at home to, toss a few coffees in together. Some people like to look at the grounds, make sure they're level. That's cool. I like to just take it, fold it. The cleanup, it's one of my favorites. I'm just going to take this, toss it into my, got a nice little bucket that, I can pour my coffee into and for my coffee grounds. So every Saturday or Friday afternoon, I'll take that out, just put that in the compost. Little mug, give it a little preheat rinse. A little half and half. Not half and half as in cream, but half decaf, half regular. Just pour that right in. Have my cup of coffee. Just dawned on me how something funny about this whole process. I take water from a jug that I filled up in my kitchen sink. I bring it out here to my workshop. I pour the water from the jug into my kettle. I pour the kettle into the Chemex. Then I take that same water and pour it again back into my cup. Then I pour it down my face. And it's delicious and it's amazing. Something I really like, and since we have this lamp right here, I really love the way light passes through coffee. You get that deep, rich red, like that's just an intense, fantastic, like I just absolutely love that about coffee when you get that, when you can see it through the glass, how that looks. Chemex, nice and easy. If you have one, I'm sure you love it. If you don't have one, you can find them on our website, batdorfcoffee.com. It's good to see everybody this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and do that little swirl. Oh, I have something fun here too. Let's look at this. So the glass on the Chemex, it's single wall and it's fairly thin. The brewer itself has no insulative properties. It is a single pane window in your house. So Chemex also makes this nice little glass. So it really does very little to catch in the heat, but it'll save us a few degrees over time. But it's fun. However, make sure when you go to pour that you pop that guy out so it doesn't, you don't be pouring glass down into your coffee mugs and all that stuff. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend. Things are kind of on fire here on the West Coast, so things feel a little bit heavier. Find your light moments. Go out and do some good in your community. Thanks for joining.